Oh, hello there. Long time no see on a Tuesday evening. How are folks doing? It's been a while. Oh, I am going to turn down the game's music a little bit. I personally can't hear it because I have the output off, but I figure it's probably going to be a little bit too loud based off of editing my Pokemon videos to put on my YouTube channel. But anyway, hello! Tonight, I'm working on dice bags. Yay! So these are 2 dice bags that I have made. This one was with my Allura fabric to use as a purse. That's why it has a handle. And that was for conventions. I learned that it doesn't work so well at conventions because constantly opening and closing it makes it a little bit difficult. But then I have this one, which is my first one, and is made purely of fabrics that I got my first trip to Japan. I really love it. But what I'm doing today is not going to be sewing them. I need to cut out more fabric. My goal is that I am attempting to use up a bunch of fabrics that I've had in my stash for literal years, some even decades. They're all like perfectly fine fabrics, all of that. Sometimes I'm like, this is a pretty thing that I need to have. I don't know what I'm gonna use it for, but I want it, which is this fabric right here. And I ended up with a very beautiful daisy corset out of it. So hey, high rollers, yeah. But in any case, I just wanted to show off how I my ridiculous pattern for my dice bags. So I have, let me show you. So it's got one central pocket and then it has 6 pockets for dice. And so, it has just the 6 triangles basically. Grand scheme, relatively simple pattern. Hello, Hatter! Yes, I'm making dice bags. So I was just showing, this is what my dice bags look like. I'm changing up how I close it. I'm going to be using eyelets instead, just experimenting with it to see how that works. Yes, so the way that I came up with this pattern, you're gonna laugh. I have a wok lid and a plate. And these are my pattern. I'm not even joking. So the inner pockets are this size and the outer bag is this size. And that's all it is. Which is kind of the silliest thing. But I already cut out a bunch of fabrics. I need to iron some of them. But some of my old fabrics from Japan still. And hang on, I have more variety over here. I love this fabric, but I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna use it for. So now it's gonna be a dice bag. But yeah, and some of them are gonna be one-offs, like this scrap. This was a single piece of scrap fabric. This is the only one of it, so there will be only one dice bag in that design. Some of them will have 2, some of them more. But yes, that is what I'm working on today. I am just cutting out a ton of fabric because it makes it easier for me to decide how they're going to be put together. Must be a lot of hard work, so much on your plate at any moment, but I love it. Thank you for that. But for actual measurements, because I am curious, the measurements of these, what is it, diameter? I think diameter is the right word. It's like 15-inch diameter for the big one and 10-inch for the small one. So just so you know the size of the circles, that's all it is. I don't care about other people doing this pattern because it's very, very simple. So the first fabrics, I washed these. The first fabric that I'm going to work on is some Marvel fabric that I don't remember when I bought it, but I have it, and it deserves to be dice bags. I think I can get 2 dice bags out of this. So the way I'm doing it is I do like The outer fabric and then one of the visible inner fabrics are the same when I can. Sometimes that doesn't happen. And then I do a different fabric to change up the pattern a bit. And I'm just gonna be cutting fabric, so feel free to chat and I will reply to chat. So I don't have too long to stream. In about an hour and a half, I have a session 0 for my Candela Obscura game that is on Horde of Tales on Friday, which I'm very much looking forward to. It's a continuation of the one-shot that I did on Valdrian's channel for Extra Life. So repercussions of what happened in that circle's game, their assignment, and continuing on from there. I'm interested to see how the new circle does with it, because one of my players in that first game decided to take home, sneaky, one of the bleed containers to research it, which is not the best idea, but you know. And yes, I'm using my fabric scissors on this. I could not find my rotary cutter. The edges don't matter because it's going to be sewn up, so whatever. I have not done a sewing stream in so long. Nope, pun intended. And I realized that the reason for that is that it's much more annoying to set up to stream this than it is just doing like Pokemon or whatever. So I really need to get back into it, but it means that I need to stay organized on my desk, which is a little bit hard to do. So now let me just fix up this edge. Hello! Yes! I do indeed have Sam's mask in the background. I've said it repeatedly before. I'm debating if I should keep it up, but it entertains me, so I think I'm keeping it up. Anyway, yay, first bit of the fabric. So this is gonna be the outer side of one of the dice bags that I'm working on. It has Amazing Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Wolverine, Hulk. Did I say Captain America? Thor. Yay! Yeah, right? He's just peeking behind Daisy's shoulder, you know. Life is good. Let's see. I will set that there and continue on. All the marvels of the world. Yeah, so Clunch, you missed it earlier, but this is my pattern for my dice bags. It's a walk lid and a plate is the other circle. So that is what I am using currently to make these. And it entertains me, and I hope that it entertains you too. If it works, it works. Exactly. Boop. I just knocked my mic, and for some reason it is not holding on my mic stand. I don't know why it's doing this. Hang on. Mic stand, cooperate with me. Like, it's tilting down for some reason. Excuse you, sir. Why are you doing this to me? Are you still able to hear me? I think the answer is yes, but let's see. If I do that and that, you know what? I think I'll be able to get two, perfect. I think I'll be able to get two outer bits from this, but I'll only be able to get one inner, which is not the end of the world. There's also sections, because these are circles, of course, there's a lot of excess fabric. But I'm trying to create sections where there are enough pieces, enough larger pieces that I can make other kinds of bags and things. So trying to minimize my waste as best I can. Yeah, there's no way for me to get 2 inner circles from this. Because if I do that, yeah. But that's okay. These are literally just scrap fabrics that I have zero recollection of where they came from. Like, I'm sure Joann's, but no clue besides that. So I'm making these for, I'm a vendor at a convention in the Netherlands in April. I know it's a long way away, but I'm really bad about procrastination. And so I figure if I at least cut out the fabrics and have a stack of them, it will make life that much easier. Yeah, I'll be there both days. Lalion Publishing. So I'll have all my games. I'll have a whole bunch of dice bags. I'll also be GMing a game at RinCon. I'm not sure which day yet. But yeah, I was just like, I need to actually prep. Because I have not been a vendor at a convention in so long. And what I used to do was I make jewelry. And so I would sell jewelry and things like that. And these really weird wrist cuffs that were very popular for a very short amount of time that literally just used up my scrap fabric, which was great. And people really liked them. They paid $20 for them. But then people stopped buying my jewelry and all of that. So I was just like, okay, chill. I'm done. Go. Let's see. I'll try to say hi. No idea how big the venue is. I'm going as a guest for the first time. Yay! Yeah, so it's not a terribly big space, honestly. You will absolutely be able to find me. It's like a community center, and because I'm pretty sure it's the same spot. But it's like there's what is essentially, I think, the assembly room / lunchroom, and that's where the vendors are. They do have an outdoor space now with the additional day tacked on as well. So they have like a little LARP area in the outside, I think, just expanding stuff. But yeah. Oh, maybe they did. I genuinely have no idea. I really don't. I was just like, this is an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me by train, and it was 35 euros to get a vendor booth. So yes, there's the inner bit. Yeah, since the options here are either 3 inside pieces or 2 outside pieces and 1 inside piece, then I'm doing the 2 outside pieces because you want to show off your love for Marvel. Yeah, it's the smallest table, and I'm kind of regretting that because it means I only have 1 chair. But because I'm a vendor and I'm also GMing, I have an extra free ticket. So one of my friends who lives literally like 15 minutes away from the venue is going to take charge of my booth while I'm GMing and watch my stuff and hopefully sell some things for me. Although just watching my stuff so that it doesn't get stolen is a bit more important. Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, I went this year with a whole bunch of actual players, and actually quite a few of the people that I'm going to be in my session 0 with tonight. But it was a good time. We just hung out. It was great. And I got to play Lasers and Feelings, and my favorite thing was just meeting a whole bunch of people that I knew from online in person for the first time. It was so much fun. you hear the dogs sighing at me, Rosie is at the gate just staring at me like, why can't I be there? I want to snore on your stream. And then Rocket is being Rocket, and she's snoring underneath the the desk. And I'm curious if some English folks will also come over the pond or not. Otherwise, I at least meet the Dutch and German peeps. Exactly. Hopefully, yeah, I don't know if you are still able to hear me or not. I see that there's potentially an ad break going on right now. But yeah, it's a really fun time. Oop, I have to stand up. Hang on. But yeah. So. Excess fabric. Yeah, I know it's an ad break right now, but I will use this. I'll probably be posting this on YouTube. I'll use this excess fabric where I can for other things, so it does not go to waste because there's quite a bit of it. Okay, next fabric. We've got, I really like this one. It's a fun little one. Ooh, thank you for the hydrate, Hatter. So I've got this fabric. That looks very kind of scaly to me. It makes me think of dragon scales or something like that. You know what I mean? It's fun. So I've got that one, right? And hang on. In my pile of fabrics, I also have, what was that? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the sub, Hatter. That's so nice of you. But yeah, so like I have dragons from when my sister wanted me to make her a dice bag. So I thought that maybe those would look really cool together. Thank you, Hatter. Oh, that's so nice of you. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, won't those look really cool together? So like this will be on the outside and then this will be the inside fabric. Yeah, it looks really nice. I also have this fabric. Again, this was one of those things where I was just like, I like it, it's pretty, I'm buying it. It's true, that is a really great way to dodge an ad break. You know, one thing that I really need to do, because I always forget that it exists, I really need to do like those pop-up GIF sound notifications, because I have the sleeves are bullshit like in the chat notification, but like I don't do the complicated ones, I do admit. But yes, thank you very much, Hatter. Let's see. I think this is about the same amount of fabric as, yeah, might be a little bit more than the marble fabric. Hype, hype. Okay, nope, starting this direction because my tea is over there. Oh, and actually, I think that gives a little bit more color variance there, you can see. Gives me an excuse to also buy some extra dice. I only have tiny dice bag because I just have 2 sets of dice. Well, fun fact, I am going to be selling dice alongside this because I have, so I'm going to do like mystery packs of dice where you just tell me a color. I have a whole bunch of dice that I've got for that, that can go along with the dice bags. I'll also have the fancy potion bottle D4s and D8s from the Kickstarter that I did. So those are going to be there. So there will be options, and I might be collaborating with Tav to sell some of his dice. There's gonna be all kinds of things. This is so interesting. It's very watercolor The fabric, it feels almost like someone painted on it. I don't know. It's a cool fabric. Yeah, I was debating. Oh, let me see. Those will be on my list for sure. I love those so much. I was thinking of getting a tattoo of one of them with extra stuff. Oh, that's so cool. If you do, you should totally tag Rune Fable, because he designed those dice for the Kickstarter specifically. Like, made the shape of them and everything. It's a brand new thing. And I said, of course, you know, please use this design for your own dice, please. But yeah, he made that specifically for the thing. Oh, hey, yeah, so thank you, Moobot. One of the new things that I'm trying to remember to do, I'm an ambassador for Roll and Play Press. So like, I'm constantly using their books and constantly talking about them on my streams and online and stuff like that. I have purchased almost all of their books, all of their products, and so they asked me to be an ambassador. So these are really cool tools for helping to prep for games and random in the moment things. I love them, but I have a discount code. So Anya10 on Roll and Play Press to get a 10% off discount. They're based in the UK. But they're really awesome, and the people that work there are really awesome too. Like Sam and Pasha and the others are so cool. Ah, nice. Yeah, I got that one too. I got it while I was at MCM London, because I didn't want to pay VAT for it to get imported to Germany. The goblin that is getting attacked by the food is such an evocative art piece. It really is. I love it. And I'm really excited to start running the one-shot games, because since I'm a pro GM, I can just run a million games, and it's awesome. And I'm always looking for new games to run, so that's great. Let's see. Hello, Fabric. Let me cut you. Make sure that I'm not cutting anything else, because I have a whole bunch of stuff on my desk now. What are you? That's a receipt. Receipt, go away. Oh, I already cut the receipt once. Oops. That's okay. It was a receipt to mail my parents a package for the holidays. Cost me 50 frickin' euros to do it. Things are getting more expensive. Feels like it'll be helpful with the amount of folks I know that never played, and I'm showing them the rules. Easy math to run games. Exactly. Yeah, honestly, I do everything I can to make it as easy as possible for people to get into games, especially new systems. Let's see, I'll keep that in mind. Probably another 2 months and my fund should be properly good again. The wedding took a big bite. Valid. Both the new job coming in should be good for April to get all the goodies. Awesome. Yep, so there's that fabric. I'm not sure. That's the side, that's the outside. But it's fun. I need to iron it though. After I washed it, it's just like, but why? Okay, so I'm gonna set the wok lid down now and do the other one. Yeah, because like a lot of people, I find they have a hard time getting into TTRPGs because of just the high barrier to entry for like the amount of information that you need to know. So things like, honestly, any Powered by the Apocalypse system game is great for that. And I like, especially Monster of the Week is one of my absolute favorites. And like, I adore Serenity, which is one of the games that I run every single week as a pro GM, but the mechanics can get very bogged down and messy. And one of the sad things to me is that I realized recently there are all of these fantasy resources for GMs and things like that. Sci-fi, not as much. So like Roll and Play Press's sci-fi GM toolkit has been extremely handy for like names and missions and things like that. Yeah, true. Not sure if you know MCDM, but they are kickstarting a new D&D, but I heard 400 pages. I was like, I will never get through that. Yeah, someone did DM Call of Cthulhu for me, and I really like the ease of that system. Yeah, I played Call of Cthulhu for the first time this year, and I loved it. It's such a different way of thinking about numbers and stats and stuff. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm trying to awkwardly cut around this, and it's the weirdest angle right now. Ah! Yeah, like Serenity, to make a character is super complicated. Like, so you're a greenhorn, which means you're the lower level. You have 42 attribute points, and you have 62 skill points that you can spread across skills and specialties. You can make up specialties. The thing is that you are distributing according to the dice that you want to roll. So say with your 42 attribute points, you want a D12 in agility because you're the pilot and you need to be able to pilot quickly. You want a D8 in another thing and D2, whatever. Like, you have to do the math of those 42 points to come up with your stats there. And obviously it can't be an odd number because you can't roll an odd numbered die normally. Yeah, variation, exactly. But so you have that. Then you have to do the same thing with your skills and attributes. Your skills, like they're the base level skills, like there's covert, there's medical expertise, there's piloting, things like that. Those can all go up to a D6. And then from there you can specialize into other things. So you can't specialize until you have that base level D6 though. And so it's like a lot of math to be able to get into the game, which a lot of people have a really, understandably, a really hard time doing. Ooh. I thought for a second there I didn't have enough fabric for 2 and 2, but I think I do. No rhyme intended. But yeah, besides that, it is a wonderful system. It was my very first system that I ever played in. Like, 2009, I was at college. I had just come home from France, having lived there for a year. Didn't know any people. All I knew is that I wanted to find the nerdy people. And so I joined the TTRPG club, and I joined, I forget what the name of it was, but I joined the video game club too. And I was sitting there, like, listening to, like, they had figured out all of the GMs for the semester and what games they wanted to run, when they wanted to run them. And they said, who wants to play Serenity on, I think it was Thursdays? And my hand immediately shot up because I loved Firefly. It's like, yes, please and thank you. I want to live in this world. And so, yeah, that was my journey. That was my start into TTRPGs. See, this can totally be one side of a dice bag, just a simpler one. We'll see what I make. But yeah. It has my heart because of that. Let's see, can I ambidextrously cut? The answer is no, but I'm going to try anyway. No, I'm not going to try. That was stupid. I'm going to turn this so that it's easier to cut. I know myself better than that. Yeah, and that was 2009. And let's see, I had the honor of Vampire the Masquerade this year, also super interesting. Yeah, I played that for the first time just about a little over a year ago. That was the Study in Ivory on Manapot Studios, We had a prequel and then a second flight, and I love Adelaide. She was my darling. Fashion designer for the rich and famous disaster lesbian. It was such a good game. And such good players and friends. I've gotten really lucky in TTRPG stuff, I think. There we go. There's another one. Doop doop doop. I totally have enough fabric to do another one of the big pieces. Cool. So I'll be able to do 2 of these dragon dice bags with these on the inside. I'm trying to think of what new systems I played this year. Let's see, I stepped a little bit away from the TTRPGs. I'm sure I'll get back into it next year. Yeah, I totally get it. Things can be overwhelming sometimes. I'm trying to remember your exact stuff, but I remember when it happened. Okay, that's ready. I know that like crowdfunding is extremely stressful. I've done it twice now, and it never gets easier. You're always figuring things out. And I am, for the most part, a one-woman show, one-woman operation. So, like, I hire people to do things, and usually they're my friends. Which I love being able to help my friends out. Let me see. Oh, not much special then. Needed a big break because marketing was too stressful for me. Absolutely, yeah. Marketing for Apothecary's Apprentice was like one of the most stressful things in the world, even though like, yes, it funded in 10 hours, which was just wild to me. But like still, let's see, I'm sure they'll do it. Yeah, exactly. They absolutely did an amazing job. Like I hired friends, but I also hired friends who are like experts and really good at what they do. But yeah, so, it was still stressful. But I got to do things like I got to play it 2-player with my friend Eve on my stream, which was awesome. And that was actually my first time doing a pre-recording of a game. I had never done that before, and that was really fun. Because we didn't have to worry about the time. I was able to take the dogs out when they needed a break, so it was a longer break than I would have been able to do if we had been live. Things like that. There we go. I feel like I just need to show you all what I'm doing while I'm doing it, since I don't have a camera trained on here, but that would be way too complicated. Let's see. Yeah, well, I might be able to get another, yeah, I can get another middle piece out of this. Yeah, so like, I think the break ended up being like 25 minutes because that's just what we needed to do so that we could take the dogs on a walk. And it was fun because Eve was actually here, and it was my first time doing a stream, like recording in the same room as another person. That was honestly very confusing to do. Like my brain was just like, what am I doing here? Why is there a person in my office while I am recording this? But I did really like doing that. That was a lot of fun. Rosie's just staring at me again. Oh, Rosie. I hope she gets adopted soon. She's a sweetheart. She deserves to find her forever home soon. Yeah, so if you don't know, I have two foster dogs. So Rocket is my pug. She's my forever baby girl. She's 13 and a half. Sleepy little puggo. And then we have two Frenchies. So Rosie is the tan one. She's definitely purebred Frenchie. And then Dahlia, we're not sure what she's mixed with, like some kind of terrier. And she's like a brindle, and she's super cute. Yeah, cute pictures. Yeah, they've been with us since October. And I'm just shocked that they haven't gotten adopted yet, because they are the cutest little cutie pies. But I think part of it is that the rescue took in like 30 like Boston Terriers and French Bulldogs all at the same time. So it's like they just flooded the adoption market with all of these adorable smush-faced doggos. And I'm just like, yeah. Just gonna put all of my fabrics over there. Stack, stack, stack. Okay. Oop. And this one. Here. Exist there. Thank you. Hey! Unnecessary barking. Okay, now it's time to do this one, which I'm not going to be able to get much out of. You can see it's not very big. So I'm thinking I'm going to experiment. I think I can get, well, I know I can get one of the walk. And maybe I can get, well, I might be able to get two of the walk. Let's see. So if I do that, then that, then it might be a little tight, but I might be able to get two from the walk lid. I'll have to experiment and get very close to the edge. I'm on the edge. I am very happy to finally be using up these fabrics for something that will make people very happy. Because these have genuinely just been sitting, like, I brought them over from the States with me, and they've just been sitting in my stash for way too long. So it's time that they get used and someone gets to fall in love with them. Always cool when you can use some old stuff to make cool stuff. Exactly. Like, I had this fabric from, there's this amazing corset company called Damsel in Distress in the US. I love her work. Sadly, my corset from her does not fit anymore. But I still, like, love the design. I love all of her fabric choices, everything. It's also really hard to get her corsets these days because she does flash sales and they go really fast. I've been like watching on Facebook. But anyway, she does scrap fabric sales. And I got a whole bunch of fabric from one of her scrap fabric sales. And it was just sitting in my stash for literally like 12 years. And then I did the Runway Naha. It's a fanzine for Skate the Infinity. And I'll grab it. I made this tabard. So I made this using a whole bunch of different scrap fabrics and things. Like these two matched really closely, but this was like jagged here, so I created this slashing pattern. This was a leftover wrist thing that just didn't look the way I wanted it to. And so I sewed that on. And then this is leftover from Vexalia. This is leftover from Howl. I bought this. It's like an Elsa cape, but it was perfect to go on this. And yeah, all of the fabrics here, like this is from Allura. All of the fabrics here were from Damsel in Distress. So I just used up everything that I could for this costume piece, and it is amazing. I love it. Let's see, that looks so cool together. Thank you. I throw stuff away too quickly, and then a year later I'm like, I could have really used that. Exactly. Like, this direction. I bought this fabric. It's a Yaya Han fabric. I bought it ages ago because I was just like, not ages, like maybe 2 or 3 years. I was back in the States and I was just like, I love this fabric. I'm drooling over it. But it was a little over a yard that was left on the roll. And in Joann's, if it's less than a yard, they remnant sale it, so it gets to be 70% off. And so I was just like, I really love this fabric, but I don't want to spend, I think it was like $30 a yard on it. I was like, that's too much money. I can't afford that. And so I was going back a couple of times, and finally they were just like, hey, you like that fabric? And they took it off and made it 70% off because it was just sitting there and no one was using it. Okay, I do think I'm gonna be able to do all the pieces I want from this. Just squidging it by. It's gonna be very tight, but it is possible. I think that is the better direction to do it in. Because then I don't think it's gonna matter in the grand scheme of things. Okay. But yeah, that was very, very nice because this ended up being like, I don't know, what was it? Like, not 10. It ended up being really, really cheap. Maybe like 17 bucks or something. Less than that? Less than that. Anyway, it was amazing. And I ended up using it for an awesome corset. And that's the first corset I've ever made. I did actually mean to make it on stream, but then I was just having so much fun making it on my own. So I just did that. I was watching Angel and Buffy while I made it. Whatever brings the most fun. Exactly. And you know, I do genuinely love doing sewing streams and stuff like that. It's just so much more setup than playing Pokemon on my Game Boy Pocket. And even like writing streams where I'm showing my screen, that can be a little bit frustrating at times because if I need to like look at the chat or something like that, if I just move the window slightly, it wiggles in my overlay, and that annoys me. No, I'm really curious if maybe I can sew the scrap bits together like in a funky pattern and then make a, oh, one of my needles came out. And then make like a patchwork dice bag as well. It might work. I think it'd be cool. Getting this plate off of my lap or it's gonna clatter to the ground. This year I watched over 30 romantic comedies so I could write a romantic novel. So that's personally my next project for now. That's awesome. I love that. I do have a fantasy novel that I would love to actually write someday. It's just being able to sit down and have the time to write it. That's the problem. Because with everything that I have going on, I just don't have the time most of the time. And I know that there are writers out there that are just like, oh yeah, you don't have the time. Genuinely do not have the mental capacity. Like, writing my games is one thing, sitting down and properly writing a novel is a whole other kettle of fish. Yeah, for sure, I had too much on my plate, so for now I just removed the TTRPG for writing. Yep, exactly. Do what you gotta do. Yeah, right now I still have so many ideas for TTRPGs that I'm just like, can't stop, won't stop. Let's see, I was inspired by Legend of Latte. Yeah, I do know it. I have it on my shelf. I haven't read it yet. But I do have it. I need to read it. I had enough. Yeah, go where the heart takes you. I have some game ideas for TTRPG, but was not mashing, so I'm letting them rest like a fine wine. You know what? That works. I somehow doubt I'm going to be able to use this fabric for anything else. Unless I go with my quilting idea. I can give it a go, and then if it doesn't work, it's just some thread and time wasted. Hello, how's it going? I am, hang on, I have to show you now. So I'm working on dice bags. I'm just currently working on the fabric stuff. And Clunch has seen this already, but my pattern for dice bags I think is very entertaining. It is a plate and the lid of my wok. So I'm using them to cut out my fabric pieces right now. How's it going? This would be a lot easier if I could find my rotary cutter, but I cannot find it. You know what? It's the whole thing of work smarter, not harder. Like, I could create a pattern piece for this, but it's the combination of it is the right size, and it also holds the fabric down. Tired and just slightly ill, so just ordered Nando's. You know what? Gotta have a cheeky Nando's. And it's honestly delicious, so I hope that it is mild illness and all is well. Okay, got one more section. Right now it looks like a, you are here. It's that teardrop shape. Big size coming from the kitchen. Puppies are just like, ugh. Sleepy babies. There we go. Another one done. Now I'm moving on to the dragon fabric. I have a lot more of this than I have of the other stuff, so this is gonna be, ow, my knee is being funky. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I'm funny. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go this way. Hey, I'm a pro GM. You can play games with me. I have a game on tomorrow of my silver bestseller D&D game, The Curse of Fate. It's at 2 p.m. Central European Time. Right, not in standard anymore. But it only has one player in it right now. Sadly. Hopefully we'll get enough to be able to run it. And then on Thursday morning, I am DMing a game for a bachelor party, which will be interesting. Let's see, how does a circle turn into a bag? Is it like stitches at the top with like elastic, silver metal, congrats, thank you. Here, let me show you, my hands are being funky. Let me remove dice. I like that I chose the more full bag to dump out. Anyway, so let me just circles. So the way it works is so you stitch the two center pieces together, then you stitch them onto the inside outer fabric, and then from there and you do like the pockets however many you want, and from there you attach all of that is all together onto the outer fabric, and you have, it's a good thing that I don't know where it is, there's like a little gap that you have when you stitch it together. You flip it all right side out, and then you stitch that up. And then for these ones, you can see it better on this side, I ran a channel all along it so that it would close, and then it just becomes a bag. Adding this on. But what I'm gonna try to do is do, I'm not sure how many yet, but I'm gonna do eyelets to see how that treats it. Because eyelets would be much faster and also easier to open and close for people themselves to use the bags. Yeah, my hands are funky in the winter, yeah. And I have been typing nonstop. Let me just get my dice back into this bag now. Yeah, one of my jobs, I'm a transcriptionist, and so I have been transcribing a scientific interview for the since 9 a.m. So, talking about Rune Fable dice, Rune Fable. I love his dice so much. And especially like, so this is the D4 potion bottle shape. Just the potion bottle top is gonna be on top of it, obviously. So, like a little dreidel. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, I am always happy to explain how things are made. I don't believe in gatekeeping patterns or designs or anything like that. I would much rather everyone be able to utilize all of the skills at their hands. This set also has a ginormous D10 and D20. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep, that's all of them. Yeah, so I just stick all of them into individual pockets, and that's why I have multiple dice bags now, because I have too many dice. But these dice bags can hold 2, maybe 3 sets in each pocket, plus the inner pocket. I'm horrible at doing anything with my hands, but always curious how stuff is made. Well, now you know. Okay, and I am giving up on organization because my hands are not cooperating with these D4s. And it frustrates me. Okay. See, now it's still currently flat. And now it is back again. But yeah, this one, because it was my first one, you can kind of see I hand-stitched the eyelets there. I'm not as much a fan of that design, and I'm not going to use this type of ribbon again because it's not a good ribbon, unfortunately. Off. Ooh. Now it's all cute. Okay. Back to this. My cup got in my way. Dragon's head just got cut off. Did my phone just buzz? It did. Duolingo is yelling at me. You haven't done your Japanese lesson. Hurry up. I don't have a Ken. That is Ken-san. I'm learning Japanese on there. This is always the hardest part. Yep, it's okay. I don't think this dragon will complain. Not anymore, that's for sure, yep. There we go. It's all pretty. And here's the poor decapitated dragon. He'll be okay. He's actually not going to be terribly visible because he's going to be mostly in the scene. But anyway. Ugh. Yeah, part of the reason why I started with the scrap fabrics is because it's so much easier to deal with than the bigger fabrics. But I don't want to like cut this in half because then I'm going to be wasting fabric that I won't be able to use to make the circles. So, you know, let's see, beheaded and tucked away. The honor. Yep. You know what? I don't... Yeah, again, he's not complaining. Let's see, I should really turn this, because that'll be easier. To cut. But harder to organize. Yeah. There we go. I also need a bigger cutting mat because this one is fine for the plate, but it's just a little bit too small for the wok. Dice bag. Perfect for slaying your dragons. Okay, I'm gonna cut out 2 more pieces and then I'm gonna have to stop so that I can get ready for session 0. Let's see, will the wok fit on this? I believe it will. Yeah. Likely to be able to use that fabric for something. Yep. I'm trying to be careful about how I place this thing so that I can make use of fabrics for other stuff too. Rocket has awakened. Okay, there's that one. Now one more with the plate. Let's see. So that can go on the ground. So much fabric. that I might be able to do something with these little scraps. I am really glad that I'm doing this way because it's going to make life so much easier when it comes time to actually make the dice bags. There we go. Okay. I'm curious to see how many bits I have accumulated. Let's look at that before I stop for today. I need to organize them too. So, little, big. Hello, Rocket. So I'm 2 and 2 so far. 3, 4, 5. Trying to keep it organized. Okay, so this is where it goes awry. 6, loose 7. So I'll put this one here. 7. Oop. Let's see. I know I have some of these. 8. I love this fabric. Oop. Come on. 9. And where's the... There it is. 9. That one. 10. 10. 11. 12. Ooh. 12. And then I have loose fabrics here. So 12, 13, 14, 14. Do you have any big ones of these? No. So I have 14 of the bigs, and then 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is some of my Japan fabric. 21 of the smalls, and this is more Japan fabric. Okay. So, decent amount, but remember that it takes 2 of each of these to make a dice bag. So, that's everything that I have so far, and I have way more to go. So, I'm going to stop there for the night, because I have to get ready for my session 0 for Candela Obscura. So this week on stream, yeah, it's already a whole bunch. I'm pretty happy. So this week on stream, I have my Thursday at noon, my time here in Germany. I have my usual Pokemon stream. Love it. And I always forget where I am, somewhere with swimming. Then on Friday at 8 p.m., I think, I'll be on Horde of Tales with my Candela Obscura one-shot, doing their EU Happy Hour. And then on Saturday, I'll be on Live from the Apocalypse. I'll be doing a Serenity one-shot, which I'm very excited about. And that is going to be at 7 p.m. Germany time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm doing a lot of stuff on stream this week. Very exciting. But yeah, let's see if it's worth raiding. Let's do a mini raid if there's someone around. Sure, let's just mini raid into Yogscast. They're doing Jingle Jam, I believe. Yes, they're still doing Jingle Jam, raising money for a bunch of stuff. So you should check it out. We'll do a little mini raid. I have emotes for raiding. Clench, you can use it. Raiding! Yay! Say hi to them. But I will see y'all next time. Bye! I need the end screen.